about to go into 3 days of silence and complete darkness, and this is the room. Really, really, really beautiful. So cute. And yeah, the whole room is basically covered in this black velvety material on the outside. So then they're just gonna nail it all up when I give them the okay. So basically I will be in complete darkness in this room. And yeah, this area, that's where they give me the food. So yeah, they put it in, they do up the latch, knock on it, and then I will take it out. So even the process of receiving food, no light. So I'm super excited. And yeah, I'm actually organising everything to try to remember where everything is. It's a really, really nice, picturesque, tranquil area. I'll just give you a quick look. Alright, so wish me luck. Okay, so it's something around 6:30 in the morning, says the lovely lady outside. And I've just seen light for the first time in 3 days, so I'm just letting my eyes adjust. And yeah, this is actually the brightest candle I've ever seen. The sun is about to rise, so I'm going to open the door and slowly walk out and just get used to light again. Wow.
Lend your ears, lend your hands, lend your movement, anything you can. Come to teach, come to be taught, come in the likeness and the image of God. 'Cause you can be like that, with all that humbleness and all that respect.
So I'm trying to meditate and be silent in my mind space, but I just cannot stop thinking about how crazy and creepy life would be without being able to see what's around you. Yeah, without being able to see this beautiful tree. Oh. Yeah, the gratitude is high right now. And also, all of my clothes are inside out. This is supposed to be on the inside. And yeah, my leggings, they're all back to front. Oh god. So to be completely honest with you, I feel this tightness in my chest, almost like an anxiety of sorts. And I've switched my phone on to record some of these videos, and all of the messages have come flooding in just as which is good, I need to integrate myself back into the real world. But I already find myself sat there with my pen writing my to-do list. And don't get me wrong, I love my life. I mean, I'm so grateful for this life that I've created, and I'm living my dream essentially, but it was so nice to be able to just practice my practice and be away from the hustle and bustle and to be present. I mean, I usually am very careful when I walk into the bathroom here because it's wet on the floor, and I have over the past 3 days always remembered, right, take my socks off before I go in there. But then today I was busy, thinking about what I needed to do when I came out, and I forgot to take my socks off. And it was just this, it was just it made me realize how many distractions there are in the outside world, whether it's looking at a screen, whether it's the things around you through actually being able to see what's around you, or whether it's just the things, the thoughts that run through your mind of all the things that you constantly feel that you've got to do. Then it's just all a distraction from the present moment. And I'd found such a place of presence over these past 3 days, and I can already feel it slipping away. So really, I want to try my best to keep that. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I want to go live in a cave for the rest of my life, where there's nothing to do. Because I do feel that for me personally, like I grow through challenges, and I might not find them as much in a cave, But yeah, it would be nice to maybe just stay in here for a week next time and have a little bit more peace and quiet for longer. Hey, okay, so I just wanted to give you a little follow up on actually what happened inside my little cave for 3 days. So in case you don't know, a dark room retreat is literally what it says on the tin. So darkness, complete darkness, and no light. There is no light in that room whatsoever. I could not see anything for 3 days straight. So it was extremely disorientating. I mean, I've got no idea what the time is outside. Didn't know if it was light or dark. The only thing I could kind of gauge a little bit what time of day it was based on when the food came, but I had no idea when that was still, what time of day it was. And when I actually asked them after, it was way out for what I thought it was. So actually, I was actually sleeping for way longer than I realized, and completely disorientating. And then obviously navigating around this room, it's very difficult for the first day. Just trying to remember where you put things. I mean, I lost my fluffy sock. Within the first like 3 hours, I only had one pair of really nice, comfy, warm, fluffy socks. Gone. Well, I found it after, but yeah. So then I learned my lesson. Always know where everything is, and I did, and it made me so incredibly present. You've got no other choice but to be extremely present all the time. If not, you're banging into things, you're dropping your food everywhere, standing on your food, like knocking it over. You have no choice but to be present. And considering that there's nothing else to stimulate you, presence is all you have, really. Your mind is all you have. So I'm not exactly the most spatially aware person. My spatial awareness is not the best. I'm a bit of a clumsy person. So anyone knows that about me. So actually, let alone in the dark. So that was my first like real lesson. Okay, move slowly and really get to know this room without being able to see it. So you're really trusting a lot, especially when the food comes. What am I eating right now? Plugging in the radiator. Where am I plugging this? And yeah, I kind of within the first 24 hours really began to notice my senses were so heightened because of this. Without the visuals to distract me, everything else heightened. The food. Oh my gosh, the broccoli. I never knew broccoli could taste so good. I mean, just the food was incredible because my senses were so heightened. I was aware of every single animal around. Everything outside of me I was extremely aware of. My hearing had just skyrocketed very, very quickly. So it really was like no other retreat that I have been on, simply because it's just you and your thoughts. There's no external stimulation. You know, other retreats, you've got new people. Even if it's a silent retreat, there's still so much going on in your external environment. New practices, new faces, new environments, just everything that's constantly stimulating you. Here, I think the most amount of stimulation I had was like this chocolate bar that I had stashed under my bed. So it's totally outlandish, and it really forces you to go inwards and to observe what's going on in here all the time is what you have. So because it was just me and my thoughts, I had really anchored myself into this place as the observer, because what else, I mean, you're constantly, all you have is your thoughts. And so, yeah, of course, I would have been sucked in every now and then by a thought pattern, but then I would wake up and I'd realize what thought I had just had. I was very aware of what I was thinking, what thoughts were popping into my head at any given moment, what I was feeling, etc. It's not like the outside world when you're constantly distracted by, people, new experiences, computer screens, everything that just sucks you in for like extended periods of time. It was not like that. So yeah, anchored in this place of as the observer, I could really kind of see how many of my thoughts were recycled. How many of my thoughts repeat over and over, just useless thoughts. Like, come on, give me something new. And obviously then just dropping them every time, I was like, well, this isn't going anywhere. Already had that thought a million times, drop that, back into spaciousness. And it just made me realize really how many of our thoughts actually are recycled every single day. And I realized what I already kind of knew, but to a deeper extent, that we are not able to control our thoughts. They just pop into our head from God knows where. They are just popped in there. But what we can control is how much we follow them, how much we feed that thought with another thought and then give it momentum. That we do have control over. So yeah, I was surrendering to a lot of thoughts that came up, but also just really not following them. It's quite easy for one thought to arise that might be infused with anxiety that might then create a fearful response within me, but I'm not really gonna follow that thought. I mean, maybe if a thought came up that I thought might be connected to a deep healing experience that I needed to go through, I may have followed it a little bit, but most of the time these thoughts that arise, I was there primarily to practice spaciousness as well. So yeah, I had found a lot of spaciousness in just surrendering into nothingness, into a thoughtless mind, continuously dropping thoughts when they rose, because they weren't anything that I really needed to look into. And yeah, I would just let them drop and fall away so that I could rest peacefully in spaciousness. And I knew that it was my responsibility to feel any emotion that came up, any emotion that I kind of gave birth to within this spaciousness. For some reason, if I needed to heal something, I knew that it was my responsibility to feel that, but also I just dwelled peacefully in a thoughtless mind for so much of the time, and it was so peaceful. The number one thing that people were asking was to do with boredom. Did you feel bored? And actually, I felt boredom if I'd done a very long meditation stint. And I was kind of coming back round and just kind of really still continuing to try and meditate. For God, I don't know how long it would have been. Time was pretty non-existent in that. And I'd start coming back down to reality, and then I'd start to feel this boredom come through. And then, yeah, I would observe the boredom as something else to observe. Other than that, actually, no, because, I was also practicing rather than just sitting down in meditation for the whole 3 days. I was also practicing various forms of yoga, doing breath work, qigong, and that kind of thing as well, just to, you know, spruce it up a little bit, I guess. And to keep me somewhat entertained rather than just sitting there for the whole time. But each one of these practices was a meditation in and of itself. So the meditation, it didn't cease. That was continuous. So visions, after a while, they say that if you are not able to see and you are existing in the dark, then your body will start producing DMT and it will release it and you'll have visions. Now, I was only in there for 3 days, so I don't think that I really was able to actually get that deeply into the experience to have that experience. However, I saw random flashy lights and stuff. I see that in meditation anyway. And one night, I think it was the last night, I was lying back in bed and suddenly there was a moon in front of me and like the silhouette of a tree gliding past. And it really took me by surprise. I don't know where it came from, whether it was like inside my mind, but whether my eyes were open or closed, it was there. And it only lasted a short time, but it was beautiful nonetheless. And yeah, that was the extent of my visions. I think if I was to have stayed longer, who knows what would have happened. So the actual day or the last night before I left, I was actually having nightmares all night about leaving, and I was lucky enough not to have too many, well, none really, emotional uprises. My pain body and my emotional body laid really quite dormant for the entire time. Usually when I go on, longer retreats, it's around day 4 when you get really deeply ingrained in the experience and the outside world completely falls away, and that's when I usually have any emotional uprises and things that need to be worked through. I hadn't got to that place yet, and actually, to be completely honest with you, I felt like a baby in a womb, and the little cupboard hatchet thing where they gave me my food was like the umbilical cord, and I was super comfy in my blankets, just peacefully meditating in spaciousness, egoless. I really did feel like I was in the womb and I was comfy and I did not want to leave. Probably 7 days, then that would have been a different story. But I'm a very busy person and I put a lot of pressure on myself to do things, and I love that characteristic about myself. It makes me efficient, but I sometimes can put too much pressure on myself and can be too busy. And so actually being in there, it was so deeply restful for me. It was freedom. It felt like everything was on my terms. I could do what I wanted to do. I didn't have an hour window to do yoga. I had as long as I want to do yoga. And same with meditation, I could just dedicate the whole day to my practice. Obviously, I live in the real world and it's not like that. So yeah, all in all, brilliant experience. My pain body's actually been a little bit triggered now that I've left. Now that I've got 101 things to do again. And all in all, yeah, would definitely recommend it. Maybe go for 3 days at first if you're a bit nervous and see if it's your kind of thing, and then you could go for 7 days. But yeah, I really, really, really would recommend it if you just want a rest as well. Just practice your practice and experience something completely different from anything else. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine, and yeah, if you enjoy this type of content, then please check out my other videos. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the future ones to come. Bye 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 bye.